Cris Cyborg's about to do some professional boxing. Now, would this surprise you that this is her first professional boxing match? Because it does me. I thought that's what Cyborg used to do. Like, that's just in my memory somewhere. I remember specifically that Cyborg did a Muay Thai match. And Cyborg was having a story of Cris Cyborg's career. Hard for her to get matches. In the UFC, it was hard for her to get matches. In Strikeforce, it was hard for her to get matches. So at any rate, she goes, some point, she's busy in MMA, and she just goes on the side and gets a Muay Thai match. I cannot imagine that brought her a ton of attention, a ton of acclaim, or even a ton of money. She wanted to compete. I've always liked that about it, and took on a very tough gal. I don't know that I have ever apologized over here, and I'm not above an apology. By the way, I'm not above being wrong. I just have not apologized. I've owned it. I've stood on my words. And if there's a consequence to pay, it was more of that type. I had apologized to this gal. I apologized because when I discussed Cyborg's Muay Thai fight, I said that Cyborg took on some no-name girl. And the girl beat Cyborg. But she didn't get a ton of credit. It was one of those situations. And I was really dismissing it. I believe in my heart, if I was to guess, this is 6 years ago, if I was to guess, it was my way in some fashion of serving Cris Cyborg. That yes, maybe the result wasn't the way that she wanted, but so what? Good for her competing. This isn't what she does. Her and just some gal. And I heard from the gal, and the gal was very sweet. She said, Sheila, I had no problem with any of the piece that you did, but you said I was just a somebody. I've dedicated my life to this. I've had 17 matches. I've been doing this for 13 years. Told me on a very human level that bothered her, that I would refer to as a nobody. Now, in all truth, that's a very condescending thing to say. Nobody is a nobody. That's a jerk move right there. And I try to never say it. I don't think that I have a habit of that. And if I was to catch myself, I'd edit it out and fix it, and you guys would never even see it. Because it's just rude. There's nobody that's a nobody. Everybody matters. But this girl's on a very human level just said, hey, I've dedicated my life to this. I've had a lot of bravery. You're talking about Cyborg came over here to fight me because nobody would fight her. Nobody fights me over here either. You're giving her all the attention. I did the same thing that she did. And by the way, I won. And it was a lot of effort and work. And I only bring that to you. One, in case that young lady sees this, I want her to know that her message to me affected me. And I was also surprised that Cyborg has never boxed. So, get some details so you understand. It's September 25th, Blaze TV. You can go watch it. But Cyborg is a co-promoter, and she's taken this fight. Her and her partners have taken this fight to, I believe you call it Churubita. Churubita, Brazil is how I think that you pronounce it. But this is her hometown. That's a big deal. I can relate to that. I can relate to that a lot. I've had fantasies of being able to fight in my own hometown. So she's going to go over Cyborg. She's going to take a massive risk and go into a different sport. And I also wonder what it means. Because Cyborg is with Bellator, but we just saw MVP, who's also with Bellator, be able to go over to bare-knuckle boxing. And there's always been a policy with an MMA. And everybody has it. Coker's got it, Dana's got it, Ray Cefo's got it, Chachari's got it. That if you want to go to a different promotion while you're under contract with me, forget about it, unless you're grappling. If there's no blows involved, and you're not going to be damaged in any way, go right ahead. That's just a policy, but it's been industry-wide. And now we're seeing Bellator, not for the first time, but for the second time, all within a month, allow one of their top fighters to go over and do a striking art. What do you make of that? Cyborg's opponent has been in there with Amanda Soriano. Cyborg herself would like to fight Katie Taylor. Now, when you hear MMA people come out and say this, they don't even hide it. They don't even put it behind a veil that they think they can make a whole bunch of money. I want to go and fight Pacquiao. Do you want to test your skills with Pacquiao? Do you really think you're to that level? Is there any reason you'd be in there and pay me $50 million? Okay. All right, great. It's a cash grab. That we understand. All of you would also go and fight Pacquiao for $50 million. So it just takes away from it. It's the opposite of promotion. It's the opposite of interesting. But Cyborg would be the one exception where it would truly be about competition. I want to show you what my skills are. You, Katie Taylor, are recognized as this massive talent in the boxing world. I think I am an unrecognized talent in the boxing world. I'm willing to come up the hard way. I'm willing to take a risk. I'm willing to put up some of the money and go to my hometown and start the slow way. But make no mistake, this is about you. I like that story. I think that's compelling. And I also think that that's who Cyborg is. A number of you will meet an MMA fighter that you've appreciated. Somebody you saw on TV, somebody whose career you followed, you'll meet them. And they're extremely accessible. It's a very big difference in MMA and possibly any other sport. Other sports, as a matter of fact, even encourage members of their league, don't be on social media. Don't tweet, don't respond. They encourage this. Whereas our sport is just the different. Get out there, build that base, talk to your audience, let them know what's going on, bring them along the journey. And when you have those experiences, whether it was at an expo or an event or in passing or at a local gym, whatever that experience was, many times you'll meet an athlete that isn't what you thought. People do that with Colby Covington, just by example. They'll go meet him and they'll put something on social media. Oh my gosh, this guy was so nice and he was so humble. It's one of those things, just by example. But I've had those same experiences, and nobody was more not what I thought than Cris Cyborg. And I have had so many people tell me that same thing about how sweet and how soft and how kind. Cris Cyborg has been fighting and been working, and she's getting water turned on to a village. If I'm wrong, it's electricity. Pays for this whole village so that they can have something that we take for granted. I'm only sharing with you. You've got this nice side and you've got a competitive side. You've got somebody that's trying to do business and make money, and you've got somebody that's trying to prove that they're great. And there's a difference. And you as a fan, I won't begrudge you for which one you come along with. But I will always go to the same side of somebody that puts competition in front of everything else, even if it means I lose. I would rather go out there and lose, but know where I stand. Know where my skills are. I don't need to go to bed tonight undefeated with everybody thinking I'm a badass if I inside don't actually know. I can relate to that. I understand it. I think that that is a lot about what Cyborg is doing. And if she wants to get a hold of Katie Taylor, I wish her the best of luck.